that goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always got a black holes. Whoa, 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 whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block hoes. They be being shady, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cause you know I block hoes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I block.
Hey y'all, happy Thursday. What is up, y'all? I missed y'all. I was on vacation, as most of you guys know. Well, it was a birthday trip for my oldest son. He made 17 slash vacation for me. Okay, so that's where I was for 4 days, y'all. Y'all ain't seen me in 4 days. This is crazy. I ain't never been away from my platform that long. But I definitely miss y'all. I tried my hardest to put out some content, which I was only able to put out one video because we was doing stuff literally every day, y'all. So I am tired. I'm jet lagged. Like my ears still popping from the plane. I cannot stand that feeling. Oh my God. Ugh. But I had to come and show up for my sister because every time I ask her to come on my platform, she comes. So I couldn't miss that, even though I was late because we had just got back, y'all. But shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being tuned in. I know y'all missed me because y'all was all over my community wall. Let me see who we got up in here so we can get started. Because I definitely needed to do a live, y'all, because I kind of fell behind, y'all. And I don't like to fall too far behind. I was also working on a video. Hopefully, I can finish it tonight and drop that video also once I get off this live stream. Hey, my Karen. Hey, Sweet Queen. Hey, Latay. Hey, Miss Kathy. We got Tanya in the build. Tanya. I'm sorry. Not Tanya. Tanya. My bro Terry. We got Miss Dee Dee. My sister Tawana. Who else? Dina. Let's Beyond Measures. We got Miss Rebecca. Miss Yolanda. We got, let's see, Beyond Compare Creations. Miss Love Mail. Shout out to you for being a 5-month member. Hey, Lupac, I hope you and your son enjoy your vacation. Yes, we did. He just left out of here, y'all. He gonna come back in and thank y'all for the birthday wishes and the birthday blessings. He just walked in his room, but I told him let me do my intro first. Let me see. Thank you, my Karen. 13-month member. Okay, she's a day one, of course. Hey, Shay J. Hey, Kita Key. Who else we got? Miss Charlene. Lot of business in the building. Miss Lady It. No, Miss Lady T. Hey, Miss Jeanette. Who else? Let me see. Let me see. Hey, Miss Big. So I'm so glad you're back. Have you heard about Shannon Sharp? Y'all, I didn't really hear about it, but I'm gonna definitely look into it because I want to speak on that too. So I gotta look. I gotta, kind of get the deets about that situation because I don't know, what's all going on with that. I did see, like it was headlining or whatever, but I don't know. Is he guilty? Did he do it? Did he not do it? I don't know, child. Gotta get the details. Hey, Miss Amanda. Hey, Veronica. Hey, Yumika. Who else? Topeka, DJ, Miss Deborah, Miss Yolanda. We got Miss Cynthia in the building. Who else? Brandy. We got, let's see. Miss Deborah Kennan. We got my girl Myla. RH made a beautiful post thanking you ladies for the honest and authentic live tonight. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to go look and see. I did not see that, y'all. The reason why I was late because I was still trying to get my stuff in, like last minute stuff. Because once I got home, I jumped straight on Harm's Live, so I didn't even get a chance to like unpack or none of that. I still gotta unpack. Hey, Miss Witty. Hey, Love Cat. Hey, Miss Gloria. Let me see. Let me see, Miss Geraldine. We got. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Miss Rhonda. Hey, Latte. Hey, Chosen One. Miss Jackie. We got Miss Marlena, Trina B. Shout out to you, Miss Cynthia Craig, Spiritual Butterfly. Miss Lovely, 18-month member. Okay, look at you. Well, definitely a day one. Miss Ice Crunch in the building. Miss Lee. We got Sierra. We got Raj, Jazzy Red. Gemini Rising. Shout out to you. Hey, Miss Nina. Hey, CS. Y'all, we had so much fun, y'all. My feet still feeling it though, because we did a lot of walking. Woo! My feet swollen like a mug. Swollen like a mug. I need to go soak in some Epsom salt. Hey, Cree, it's me. Hey, Nevada. Who else? Who else? Hey, Erica. Hey, Queen Money Stove Gang. Hey, Terry. Hey, Miss Jackie. Hey, Miss Laurie. Anything glittery in the building? Miss Lovey. Dominica. Y'all, I can't believe I got that many people in here on a big old Thursday. But I don't know if it's spring break for y'all, but it's still spring break for us. So a lot of people out around here. Hey, Miss Pamela. Hey, Angela B. Hey, T. Hey, Cree. Who else? Leah Rowe in the building. Okay, Christina. We got, I don't want to miss nobody. Miss Robin Buttercup, Kiara in the building. Shout out to all of y'all. Wow, I can't believe all of y'all in here. Harm had a good 1,200 people in that live. She did her big one. Shout out to my sister Harmony. She need to go live more often. I done told her that, y'all. She don't listen, but we'll see if we can get her to keep going live. At least once a month. Because she did her big one on that live. But anyways, y'all. Who the streets have been hot. I've been peeping in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. It's so hard to keep up because if you miss one day on YouTube, especially in this sector, it's like you miss everything. You have to catch up. Shout out to my source for still sending me stuff constantly to, kind of keep me afloat as far as the saga is concerned. She don't send me none of the drama stuff, only saga related stuff. So big shout out to her for that because I was getting a few screenshots here and there. I have heard people talking about Laonia and something about legal aid. I'm like, what? Legal aid? Not miss. I make more money than all my baby daddies need legal aid. Child. Anyways, I don't know what's going on with that, y'all. But from what I heard, the people are saying that the GoFundMe is still at a halt, and it's probably because people have literally watched you on this internet brag about the money that you make. One, constantly spending buku bands on Janostrals. Two, and it's I feel like the proof is in the pudding, in the actions also, because it's one thing to say you support somebody, but when it's time to really be supported, that's when you see who your true supporters are. And I feel like in this case, hmm, to have 3.3 million followers, and that's not even collectively, that's just Facebook, to have that many followers and only 30 something people donated to the GoFundMe is crazy. Crazy. They quick to talk about our age, but baby, listen, Linda, crazy work. Let me go see RH post, y'all. Hold on, let's see if I can pull it up. Was it Facebook or YouTube? Somebody let me know. Begging for soup. And that's the shout out to Harmony because I watched her video where she called out a lie and she basically showed where people were in her chat on YouTube, in Laonia's chat on YouTube, and they were saying you need to use the money, the super chats for your lawyer. And she said something about, yeah, my lawyer is, what did she say, y'all? 3,200, 3,100, something like that. Something along those lines. So because she did get a lot of super chats on those live streams, those two live streams that she did here on YouTube. I don't even know how much she got the first day, but she got a lot of them, y'all. So why, if you're gonna use that money for your lawyer, then why would you need a GoFundMe? And then on one portion of the GoFundMe, it says you're raising what, 9,000 or 9,500, and then when you click on it, it says 25,000. So that's a little confusing. Hmm, interesting. The people better pay attention because ain't no way. Like what are we doing here? At the end of the day, I feel like if you want to see a difference on social media, the best thing for you to do, and this goes for anybody who's an influencer, anybody who's a socialite, a celebrity, a famous person, a known person, whatever you call yourself, if you want to see a difference on social media, don't put your business out here. That's it. That's it. That's all. Because guess what? If you're not putting your business on in these streets, then people can only assume and speculate. But if you're the type of person who can't deal with speculation and assumptions because she's that also, then you, baby, that's bad business. Because you're going to constantly find yourself trying to prove a point to social media. If you can't deal with people having an opinion, having a speculation, having an assumption, and if you feel like they're wrong about their opinion, speculation, and assumptions, then you need to just remove yourself from social media completely because at the end of the day, in order to be unbothered, you have to be unbothered. You can't show that you're bothered and say that you're unbothered. The action has to align. That's some crazy work, child. So RH posted, I broke down in tears tonight listening to those beautiful black women on YouTube speak truth and stand up for me. As a black man who's been lied on and dragged for 2 years in front of millions just to tear down my character, it hits different. It's already hard enough being a black man in today's world, but to hear black queens, strong black queens stand on what's right, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means going against another woman, gave me hope. I'm not just a content creator. I'm a black father with two beautiful daughters and a grandbaby I provide for. My name, my career, and my finances have been affected in real life. While some people treat my pain like it's a reality show for entertainment, to every sister out there standing in truth, you're not just uplifting me, you're standing up for our brothers, fathers, uncles, sons, and nephews. Your voice is powerful, and tonight I felt it. Thank you for choosing truth over popularity. Thank you for seeing the real. Shout out to RH for that message because that's major. And if you can, I always say you can dislike him, you can dislike his character, you can dislike his content, but at the end of the day, the man was wronged, period. And if you can't stand on truth, if you can't stand on what's right, then that speaks to your character. Because you can, nobody, for one, everybody dislikes somebody, right? But God gives us discernment. God gives us free will, and you have to be real careful of the choices that you make because you can be opening the door for karma. And I ain't trying to intercept nobody's karma within this saga. And I always say you can do two things at once, which is dislike somebody and still stand up for what's right. And it's sad. It's real sad, y'all, that a lot of people within this sector will sweep certain things under the rug just because they don't like this man. And that the dislike is not genuine. That's the crazy part. It's not genuine. And when I say it's not genuine, it was built off of a DV lie. And if you, okay, because it's a lot, let me say this. It's a lot of women. You have some that believe RH, he didn't do certain things, and then you have some that believe he did, right? But the fact that we all are watching the same story play out on social media, we all seeing the same receipts. One being the most major receipt in this storyline was that 911 call. I spoke on this on Harmony's Live, but I wanted to elaborate more because I feel like it really got swept under the rug and no accountability was taken for that. That situation triggered a lot of people, not just women, but men also. Because we are watching a generation where police officers are unaliving black men damn near every day for nothing, for nothing. So when we speak of accountability, where was the accountability for that? Bump everything else, take everything else out of the situation. Where was the accountability just in that moment? Because that was brought to social media. She brought the fake DV to social media. And you know, people often say, well, y'all can't say what went on in their home. Y'all don't know what went, because you know that's an excuse. A lot of people use that as a crutch within this saga. I noticed that. Oh, y'all can't speak on what went on in their home because y'all wasn't there. No, we wasn't. But guess what? This is a storyline that played out on social media where receipt after receipt after receipt was given. And you got to be real careful when you're trying to prove a point on social media, especially when you're being deceptive, because we watched a lot of the inconsistencies. So when I hear people speak about, oh, she covered up for him, because you know victims tend to cover up for their abusers. That's a fact. That is a fact. But in this case, that don't apply. It don't apply because how can you say she covered up for him when she put everything out here? But the one she did cover up for is the one she's still with, and she's still covering up for him. You can't say she covered up for RH when she was constantly putting stuff out there about him. How is that covering up for him? Somebody let me know. None of what she did in the beginning of this saga was a cover up for an abuser. None of it. It don't make sense. And most of it was half at receipts. When she put something out here, it wasn't in its totality. It took for him to come out. That's why I say it's so many things that it's so many moving parts when it comes to this storyline that a lot of people don't know about, don't want to know about, and just not paying attention, or they came in on the butt end of the saga and speaking prematurely. That's the crazy part. Because if you don't have all the facts, you shouldn't be saying nothing. I remember being in somebody's live one day. It might have been Upper. It might have been up a few weeks back, and they had somebody in the comments that was, you know, because y'all know how the trolls tend to when we speaking on the situation. They always when we speak. Let me say when we speaking on Janastro, they make it a habit to bring up RH, right? And it's crazy because why are y'all bringing this man up when we're talking about the uh, Janastro's abuse, what he did to her? How is that relative to RH? How does that apply when he's not in a relationship with her no more? They using it as a crutch, as an excuse, and that's not cool. That's not cool. These people are no longer married. So why is it that when we speak on, it's like you giving him an excuse to be in a bruiser? I don't understand that. Especially from a lot of women who claim to be survivors of. Since when do we make excuses for abusers? That's the part that's not registering to me. I will never be okay with that. And that's why I say they often get it misconstrued, because I had somebody in my comments not that long ago that was like, "Cock, um, so you saying RH was perfect?" And I'm like, when did I say that? When did I say that? Just because I'm not giving you what you want to hear, just because I'm not tearing him down, and I don't tear the wife down either. So what would make you think I'ma tear this man down? Because that's what y'all want to hear. Y'all not it done got to a point where a Bruce ain't even relative no more. That's the crazy part. And I don't understand that. How is what we initially came into this storyline for no longer relative? I'm not finna speak on how that man chew. I'm not finna speak on how that man yawn. I'm not finna speak on how he walked, how he dressed, how he coincide with his child, what they do on a daily basis. I'm not speaking on that because that's not even, why does that matter? And that's the problem because it's too personal. Anytime it gets to a point where you're speaking on non-relative things, it's too personal. It's too personal. Now, when you speaking on stuff, now let's say you calling out some lies, lies that could affect people, being that you're an influencer, that's different. That's different. Because you're influencing, when you call yourself an influencer, you're influencing our youth, not just the elderly. It's a lot of our youth that are being influenced by these so-called influencers. So if you speaking on stuff like that that's actually important, then that's different. Lying to the masses, like what I do, I speak on the lies and I speak on the abuse and anything else that coincides with character or the lack thereof. Other than that, I'm not speaking on all of that irrelative stuff. And that's what y'all want to hear. And that's the problem. I'm not following that man to be watching how he chew his food, what he wearing, whether it match or not, if he got a wrinkle in his pants, if his shoes too big, if his teeth too big. I'm not speaking on none of that. Do y'all hear me over here saying lie on your teeth too big? No. So why would I do that to him? So when y'all say, well, Pop, you don't call out his, what you want me to call out? Because we did already broke down the DV situation. Can we move on to the current man? That's the problem. They don't want to move on. It's a whole lot of people that don't want to be wrong. And that's what the problem is. Nobody wants to be wrong, even though we know who's wrong. We know who's wrong. And I will never, the day I have to get on my platform and make an excuse for an abuser, I will no longer, I will shut this whole thing down. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because if you ain't standing on your integrity, your morality, or what's right, then what's the point? What you doing it for? What you doing it for? The coin's going to come with it. But why not be a good person while you doing it? Why not be a good person and get even more blessings for standing on what's right while making the coin? Because coins gonna come whether you choose to do good or bad on your platform. You still gonna make a buck. So why not choose to do good or be good or stand on something? That's the part I don't understand. It's like people that made it seem like you have to be ugly to people or you have to lie, be deceptive, be drama filled just to make $1 and you don't have to. Y'all see how I run my platform? And if I wasn't making no coins, I wouldn't be here. Because time is money, baby. Okay? Can't nobody work for free, especially when you got children. When you got kids, you can't just work for free. So when people say, oh, they only doing it for the money. Yeah, we might be doing it for the money, but guess what? I'm also standing on what's right. I don't go against my morals and my values. Ain't no amount of money worth that. Period. I might not agree with everything RH does, but was he wrong? Yes. He was wrong. And the fact that some people cannot admit, I ain't gonna even say y'all can't see it because y'all definitely see it, especially when you got people admitting to doing certain things. So that's an obvious. But when you don't say nothing, that's crazy. Like, come on now. It's okay to say somebody needs help. This saga is so backwards to where y'all are literally coddling someone who framed her ex-husband with her current man's abuse. In what world do we do that? But y'all want to say RH is manic? He manic because he still get on his platform and laugh and be happy and do his little skits and spend time with his child because he throw a sub here and there because it's being thrown at him that make him manic because of how he responding or because he still speak on things that he experienced, his experiences. Who are we to put a time frame on what somebody else dealt with? You won't know how it feels unless you're going through it. And that's why I don't really speak on certain things when it comes to um people need to stop talking about this, they need to stop talking about that. Because at the end of the day, even if Laonia was still out here speaking on it, what she feel like she endured, if you're not in somebody's shoes when it comes to their pain, and what one thing I feel like a lot of people are forgetting is the fact that he was in that marriage too. He was affected the most because he has to wear the jacket of people calling him an abuser. It's like that's not registering. People forgetting that. He was in a marriage for 6 years also. So when you speak on pain, you have to include him as well. That was his marriage too. And that's why I can appreciate that post he made because he highlighted that. He highlighted the fact that people are literally making money off of his pain. That's crazy. Dislike him all day long. But at the end of the day, the man was wrong, period. And it's documented. If you don't look at nothing else that happened in this saga, you have to consider that 911 call. Because the world seen that. The world seen her lie about that and still have yet to take accountability when it comes to that 911 call. And she got sons also. But God, listen, the way God work, God be working. That's all I'm going to say. God be doing his big one. Hey, y'all. Y'all know once I start talking, baby, I don't see nothing else. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. I did not do my disclaimer. If y'all would like to donate to me monetarily, you cash at me $, Lupac1. You can also buy me a coffee. Shout out to all my coffee people. I got coffees while I was on vacation too. Big shout out to y'all. It is greatly appreciated. You can also support the platform by getting a super chat or a super sticker. I do have a goal set. It is not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated as it contributes to the revenue of this particular live stream. Y'all, please watch those ads as they come through. While I'm talking, you will not miss a thing, I promise. It will pick right back up where it left off once the ad is completed. So make sure y'all watching them. Please don't skip them. Don't skip them, y'all. Don't skip. Shout out to all my members. I will do a members only live stream. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this weekend. Probably Sunday, y'all. We'll probably do it Sunday. We're gonna do it Sunday. We're gonna do our members only live stream Sunday. But definitely hit that like button because that's free. Can't beat free, baby. You cannot beat free. But I just don't get it, y'all. Like it's real disheartening. It's embarrassing also. It's disheartening and it's embarrassing to be a part of something where you see elderly women not standing for what's right. Like what kind of this saga is a bad example, especially when it was built on DV. Something so serious. Something so serious that's crazy. Like I'm embarrassed. Secondhand embarrassment is a real thing. Cause ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like I just don't get it. Hey Teddy. Hey sister. Corporate thugging with Mika in the building. Latate in the building. Shout out to all my fellow CCs in the building. Shout out to everybody that then came through. I see y'all. I see y'all in here. Thank you, Camille. Thank you for that super support, my love. I just don't get it, y'all. Like it's unfortunate, it's disheartening. And my thing is, if you not gonna speak on Because you know, a lot of people say, "Oh well, you know, when it comes to genitals, right?" I've been hearing a lot of people say, "Well, he's getting therapy." Who said that? That that's where did that come from, y'all? I'm curious to know because I never heard Laonia come out here and say Janashos is getting therapy. But what I did hear is an audio that she did the very last time when she exposed him on the internet. One of the things she said was he didn't want to do therapy. He wanted her to fix what was going on the internet, and then he was going to think about getting therapy. So where did this I already know the answer, but it's just mind boggling that people will go so far to create narratives just to try to clean up their own mess. And that's crazy to me because that she never came out here and said they was in therapy. I didn't hear it. Did y'all? Somebody let me know. Did y'all hear her come out of her own mouth and say this man is in therapy? I heard her say they working on a relationship. They trying to move past it. I did hear her say that, but I ain't never heard her say, "Oh, we in therapy now as a family." Da, 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 da. I ain't never heard that. Because if you ask me, based on the post that she been making, is giving trouble in paradise. Is because she making the same post that she make anytime. And it's I don't want to say that word. Anytime something big is gonna soon happen on social media. The same post that she make, it's a pattern. Y'all hear me speak about a pattern of behavior all the time. When you see posts like this, hold on. Let me show you how repetitious it is. Thank you, Miss Leslie, for that cash app blessing, my love. Um, I don't want my son to grow up believing women should do everything alone. I want him to value family and know that turning his back on family is never okay. I pray he becomes a good man, a present father, and a responsible person. That's how I'll know I've succeeded as a mom. So when you see posts like that, I immediately think of the pattern of behavior. How many times has she made posts like this and then boom, something happened? She put it on the floor about Janasha. Even though I personally think if something was to happen, she's not going to come out here again because too much then transpired. Just going so hard to prove a point and got people rallying behind her, fighting for her again, just to cover up his abuse. That is some crazy work. So I think she's going, but she's so impulsive, you never know. But I think she's going to try her hardest to not come out here and spaz on him again. But baby, you best believe the person that he truly is still in there. It's still in there. A tiger never changes its stripes. And a bruiser, in my opinion, once in a bruiser, always in a bruiser. You might have episodes where y'all happy, y'all getting along, but all it takes is that one thing to set him off, and then boom, we right back to square one. And my personal thought, like I said, I can only speak on how I feel. This is opinion based, right? Um, Even if they were in therapy, right? When you go to therapy, and this goes for anybody, you can only work on certain triggers that are in the known, that you know of. But who's to say it's a new trigger that won't happen and whatever. Like you can only work on what you know to be triggered. But it could be new ones that come about as well and it'll set you off. So child listen. But just that post, right? And then when you look at that post and you think back to just the first line of the post, I don't want my son to grow up believing women should do everything alone. Push pause. We already know because she already then came out here and said that this man hasn't done anything for her, hasn't paid a bill for her or anything. So people really want us to believe that because she just said that less than 4 months ago that this man has not paid not one bill for her, hasn't done anything for her in that relationship, right? That was stated on her Instagram less than 4 months ago. They have been together allegedly for about 2 years now. She was fresh out her marriage into that relationship. So you mean to tell me if that man ain't did nothing for her in 2 years of being in a relationship, he's doing now? We got to make it make sense. And she just made this post today. Or one where you say, I've learned that God's vengeance is real. You don't have to try to get someone back for hurting you. Their own decisions will destroy them. Keep your heart softened. Refuse to turn into those who hurt you. Heard it all before in my sunshine voice. It's all pattern of behavior, y'all. Who y'all think she's talking about? Ain't nobody on the internet being with her. And this is how it always starts off. Little subs being thrown here and there. And then boom. A late night crash out is coming. Interesting. Or this one. God, today I block access to every person, every spirit, every presence not sent by you. If it wasn't assigned by heaven, it has no place in my life. What's she talking about? Protect my space, guard my heart. Help me discern what looks good but isn't God. I release every distraction, every hidden agenda, every connection that pulls me away from you. This season is too important to let the wrong people in. I only want what aligns with you. In Jesus' name, amen. Who's she talking about, y'all? She definitely not talking about people on the internet. We're not in her personal space. And this is where I say, be careful how you enable. You can support somebody, but be careful how you enable. Because if you've been around a DV victim / survivor, then you know they definitely tend to cover for their bruiser. I wouldn't want nobody's BLOOD on my hand. Because if something was to happen, guess what? Because you coddled, enabled, and covered, you are a part of the problem. Period. All victims / survivors go through episodes where they say, we working on. When you support the right way. You don't encourage somebody to stay with somebody who's caused them harm. You encourage them to or help them to know they deserve better. Move on, do better for you, not just for you, but for you and your children. Because you can't say that this man and did all of this and that to you and the kids ain't affected. How is that possible? If we all under the same roof, how is that possible? How can somebody be causing so much harm to the mother and the kids not be affected? Come on now. Hey D Ham, what's up, bro? Make it make sense. I don't want people around me like that. Shout out to my day ones because I got some real hitters when it comes to friends in real life. And when I went through certain situations in the past, well, a certain situation, because I only allowed it one time. And I was young. I done been through it. That's why I could speak on it. I had the type of friends that they didn't care if I was willing to cut them off. They wasn't standing for it. They loved me that much. Because here's the thing. When you really support somebody, when you really love somebody, and you really want what's best for them, you gonna go against the grain. You don't care what they say because it's all a mind game. When you in a DV situation, It's like a trance. Hold on, y'all. When you in a DV situation, it's like you're in a trance, right? Because, and I say this a lot, women love harder than men. Women love harder than men. Women want to see the best in a man, especially when that man is the father of your children. You're going to put up with a lot. Because a lot of times, I feel like when you come from a certain generation, you have been programmed to think that you have to stay with a man for the betterment of the kids. But in all actuality, it's actually worse because you're setting your kids up for failure in the future when it comes to real life issues. It's not in their best interest. Staying with somebody who means you no good is not in the best interest of the kids, even if it's their father. Period. Because if he really cared about his kids, he wouldn't move like that towards the mother. Because kids need both parents. They need to see both parents healthy and thriving. That's the only way they gonna be good. That's the only way. So I just don't understand it because I look at my mom, I look at my aunties, all the elder women in my family, and to see the behaviors on the internet by women that are literally in the same age group is crazy. Ain't no way we allowing a 32-year-old to play puppet master to a bunch of grown women. Support her. Nobody's saying don't support her. Everybody needs support. Period. Because the girl needs help. One, she needs serious psychological help, healthy therapy. She need help. But encouraging and telling her to stay in a situation because she got y'all thinking that uh they good now. We thought they was good last time too. Remember? And the time before that. Because she didn't pop out on him at least 3 times on the internet. What's the difference now? That's the $1 million question. What's the change now? The kids? Because I know for a fact that kids don't change nothing. If it's not healthy, if it's not built on a solid foundation, once you bring kids into it, that only makes it worse. Because guess what? If you wasn't focusing on building and strengthening your relationship before the kids, what time do you have to do it after the kids get here? Somebody let me know. Make it make sense. Hey, Valena, my love. Hey, discussion board. Like, make it make sense. And while they speak on, y'all, I've been sitting on a little clip for the longest, right? I have a receipt in my phone where this was a little early in the saga, right? And it was around the time that Laonya and y'all see my voice is dwindling down, child. Probably because I ain't really been using it and I done came from completely different weather back to humidity. Because where I was at, baby, that weather was lit. Okay. Now I'm back in the humidity. And that's probably why my voice is gone. It's about to leave me. But and I ain't make no tea. I should have made me some tea instead of hot chocolate. But I've been sitting on a receipt that I've been having for a while. And if y'all remember early on in the saga, whenever the therapist came into play when it involved Momo, right? This was around that time. So it was a particular live stream that was done by Laonia, where she was around that time she was keeping baby girl from her daddy, and they went to eat at a restaurant. It was the same day, if y'all remember, Laonia did a live stream where she recorded the therapist speaking, her and the therapist talking. She recorded them talking and she put it on the internet. And she caught a lot of backlash from it also. I remember that very vividly. So she ended up deleting the live stream. But in the same day, her and the other kids, I think probably went with their dad, but her and Momo went eat out at a restaurant. And in this particular clip, Momo was punching her mom on her arm, like pop, 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 right? So Laonia told her, "You, Momo, you need to be nicer." And you know what Momo said? "No, I don't like you." And then a edit happened, right? But she didn't edit that part out. You know what she did? She proceeded to say, "Put your jacket on. Your dad's here." To flip the script and to take the focus off of what Momo had just previously said and bring it back to, because that was when, like I said, that was when the narrative was being spun that baby girl was traumatized by her dad, right? So she started saying, "Look, your dad's here. Put your jacket on. Time to go." And Momo started hollering, "No, no, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go." Right? And then she said, "Well, let's call him. Let's call him. You don't think I need a break? Your siblings with their dad. You don't want to go meet your dad and his family. They're going to buy you toys and da 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 da." Right? So it's just crazy how people tend to miss things like that. But they catch everything else, though. Right? They catch everything else. And I've been sitting on that receipt for a while. I just never put it out. Never put it out. But she sure told her. She said, Momo was punching her in her arm, pop, 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 tapping her. And she said, "You need to be more nice." And she said, "No, I don't like you." That's exactly what that baby said. And like I said, they don't see stuff like that, but they see everything that happens with our age, though. Everything, baby. And that's real crazy. Real crazy for a baby to tell her mom, especially one when the narrative was being painted that she was traumatized by the dad. Okay, interesting. Even though we seen um moving forward how that played out, because that whole situation changed when RH dropped that ring door camera video. And we already know that parental alienation and manipulation was going on after we heard a certain audio that was played. Shout out to RH for dropping that. But it just, this whole yup, sure was beyond compare creation. Sure was. It's just crazy. I just don't understand it, y'all. Like, it's so disheartening to see people not take DV serious or only take it serious when it's somebody that they like. That's not cool. The reason why God gave us free will is because he wants to see if we're going to make the right decision. He want to see that. So when you openly, and that's why you got to be real careful of what you do out in the open and what you do when you're alone. What you do when nobody's looking. Because guess who always looking? Guess who's seeing everything? The big one. He's seeing everything. So you might think you getting away with something, but God sees all, baby. And just because you don't think certain things are considered karma in your eyes, you best believe when you having bad luck or things are constantly not going your way and it's questionable and you wondering why things are not going your way, that's karma. When you can literally sit there and manifest the very same things that you spoke over your husband and you manifest that relationship, baby, that's karma. That's karma. And the reason why I know she knows it's karma, the reason why I know she knows that her relationship with Janostrals is karma, is because when I heard her say on her story time 4 months ago, back in December, remember she did that story time in her vehicle where she basically laid out the whole timeline of events with her and Janostrals, right? Hey, Candy Girl. When I heard her say that she stayed in that situation and dealt with everything because she did not want to come to the internet with another failed relationship. But she was still out here putting this ninja on a pedestal. It's one thing. This is where the vindictiveness and maliciousness coming at, right? Because she could have very well stayed in that relationship and just kept it under wraps, kept things off the internet. But even with her knowing that their relationship was not what she was presenting it to be on social media, she's continuously kept putting him on a pedestal. She did it for over a year before people started actually finding out that it wasn't what she was making it seem. That's what makes the difference in this situation, in my opinion. Literally. It's no way. And that the fact that people can't see that that's a mental illness, anybody who stays in a relationship that is no good for them just to prove a point to the internet, I wish I would. Because the internet, what is the internet doing for you, baby? Make it make sense. A bunch of people with a bunch of opinions that really don't matter unless you make them matter. Ain't nobody in their right mind staying in a relationship that means them no good, not just staying in it, but praising it. It's one thing to stay in it behind and under wraps, and it's another thing to be in a terrible relationship, abusive relationship, and be coming out here on social media acting like it's all good. So when she came out here and said, um, I put him on a pedestal, and y'all mean to tell me I was good at praising him and putting him on a pedestal, but I can't be loud with my hurt and my pain? No, you can't. And you know why? Because you did that on your own free will. Because you wanted to prove a point. You was being vindictive and malicious. You wanted people to think that RH was the problem, and you got out of a terrible marriage, an abusive marriage, and you jumped into a God sent relationship. You did that. You wanted that. That's why when I say they both went into their relationship with the wrong intentions and their relationship wasn't really built on a strong foundation, that's what I mean. She used him to try to make RH jealous and to try to prove the internet wrong, that she wasn't the problem, and he used her for financial gain and exposure on social media. Period. And it just so happened some babies came out the situation. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I had to go get my other drink out the refrigerator. But I just don't understand it. Like, all of it was done. And then when you really sit back and think, like, where's the victim in all of this? How are you a victim? How? All of this was planned, plotted. Hey, Miss White, what's up, my love? Thank you, my Karen, for that soup. I appreciate the support. Thank you, Mila. I didn't even see y'all send me that. Mila says, I'm glad you all made it home safely. Time with family is everything. Now let's make sure Lupac meets this goal. We have to support our truth tellers. Shout out to Harmony Upper Latte. Hashtag cook. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Geraldine. You said the content creators on the truth teller side, y'all only do receipts and y'all don't frame that. No, it's not personal. Who would, well, let me, I can only speak for myself, but you gotta be a, shut up, Pop. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Thank you, Miss Valencia. I appreciate you, my love. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate the super support. Like, I just don't understand it. You have to be a bad person to do the things that this girl has done. And the fact that so many people have disconnected from her that were once in her presence on a personal level with her, and we could all name them, that came out and spoke against her and her character. One in particular said she's not a good person, she's not humble, and she's not truthful. Make it make sense. Like, come on now. You can't be a victim and a villain at the same time. It does not work like that. And like I said, nobody is saying don't support her. That, well, I'm definitely not saying that. Because like I say, everybody needs support, y'all. At the end of the day, she is still a mother. She still got kids depending on her. Whether we agree with her mothering or how she do things or not, the kids are still in her presence and they are innocent. Period. Kids don't get to choose their parents. All babies are innocent. So she definitely needs support just like everybody else. But I don't like where people try to make it seem like she's this and RH is that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because at the end of the day, if we really want to lay it on the line, that man took a way worse hit than she did. And that's big facts because she planted the deceptive seed out here. And he got, regardless if he vindicated or not, a lot of us know what really happened based on the receipts. We didn't have to be in the home for the ones in the back because we had more than enough receipts, including the horse's mouth saying that the only incident that they had was the tote situation and verbal. And the tote situation been broke down. We all know she was the aggressor to go through his phone. Anytime you gotta pull out pepper spray because you want to get in your husband's phone that bad, you ain't in no way, shape, form, or fashion a victim. She could have went to jail for that because pepper spray is considered a weapon. I don't know how many people know that. They use that in the jailhouse and on the streets. I don't need to get in no man phone that damn bad to where I'm gonna pull out some pepper spray. Baby, you can get the F on. That's when you know you lack uh self-respect, self-esteem, self-worth. When you gotta go that far, especially in a marriage, and mind you, a marriage where the man was already letting you see in his phone every day. That's a you problem. So for the ones who try to say, well, what about him just not want her in his phone that bad? What? Are we missing the point where it was said she would go through his phone every night? Every man, not everybody doing that. I don't go through my man phone and he don't go through mine. It's not that we can't. But why? When you trust your partner, you ain't gotta do all of that. If your partner giving you a reason to think something going on, then that's all you need right there. Because you should know your partner's patterns. You should know their behaviors. You should know whether they're being consistent and intentional. I don't need to go through your phone. If I need to go through it, then we got a problem. Y'all gotta make it make sense. Even when that happened, y'all, it was so many excuses being made just about going through the phone. I'm like, these people can't be serious. This man just said he would FaceTime her every time he would go somewhere. You shouldn't have, child. Listen, that's a whole nother conversation for grown folks for real. Okay? We could do that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. But it's just the fact, like, when you look back at it, and if we really want to put it on the floor, the um the lie detector test alone, matter of fact, let's pull it up. We got a little time, right, y'all? We got a little time. Hold on. Let me find it. Because if we really want to put it on the floor, the lie detector test told it all. Since people out here saying, he poured Gatorade on her, he kicked her in her back, and are y'all serious? Baby, y'all can go right there to Sweet My Takeover video where she put it on the floor and broke that all the way down to where you can see who put Gatorade on who. If he put Gatorade on her, why was his clothes drenched? Make it make sense. Ayana then already came out here and said that everything that was posted on her page was sent to her to post, or it was posted for her because that person had access to her page. That was deceptive in itself. That whole situation was built on deceptiveness. And if you don't know what deceptiveness means, look it up. Make it make sense. Because none of that makes sense. What is this? Oh, all right, hold on, y'all. Let me pull up that lie detector. Because I feel like that was very important. Very important. Give me a second. Because I got to find it, y'all. But it told everything. That in itself told everything that needed to be known. Why people saying, well, why he don't take a lie detector? Why would he need to? The wife took one. And it told everything, in my opinion. Thank you, Candy Girl, for your support, my love. Thank you, Ray Ray Gibbs. I appreciate you. Yeah, say the crazy thing is that supporting her can lead to you being scammed. So be careful who you support. Facts. Facts. People forgetting about that. The breakdowns that we did when it comes to um certain giveaways. It was even on audio that money that was given by supporters were split amongst people on the back end. Child, some people better stop playing. Hold on, y'all. Let me find this receipt. Because I know I've seen it recently and I saved it. Uh, Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. What is this? Oh, that's it. But I feel like a lot of people, but I ain't gonna say people let it fly because when it happened, people were definitely talking about it. But so much time been passed to where it's like people done forgot certain receipts, and that's the most unfortunate part because at this point, RH shouldn't even be talked about no more. What are we doing? This man ain't with her no more. Why is he still being drugged? For irrelevant stuff at that. You can't tell me we that invested to where we gonna drag him for how he eat, how he doing, how he dress. What? So when we speak about differences, that's the difference. That's the difference. For the most part, the people that talk about Laonia speak on the lie. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I just don't understand it, child. Make sure y'all hitting that like button for your girl. We got 449 in the building. What's the lights looking like, y'all? Thank you, that one, my love. Thank you for your support. Hey, Nola Bunny. What's the lights looking like, y'all? We liking or we lacking? Is we liking or we lacking, baby? All right, let's see. Because I know I seen that dog on lie detector. Here you go. Here you go. It's a little blurry, but we can see it. Let me send it to my email so I can pull it up for y'all. So we can put it on the screen. That way can't nobody say I made up nothing. Ain't no makeup. This was what she posted in a video. All right. I'm gonna shake back and readjust it to this bad weather here. Because it's bad. All right. Let me pull it up, y'all. Now why am I logged out of my email? What the okay. Hold on, y'all. The heck? Why is it logged out? Hold on, y'all. Let's see. No. Okay. I'm gonna get this sign in. Okay. Let me pull this up, y'all. Hold on. Come on, mouse. Open this new tab. All right. Share it. Y'all come out the bushes. They better come out them bushes and hit that like button. Y'all hear every time I go live. I don't see what the problem is. All right. Let's make it bigger. Dang. So she took this on October 21st, 2022, y'all. Hold on, let's see. It says Miss Hampton voluntarily submitted a wrongful accused polygraph examination and read/signed the polygraph consent form. The originals of the documents are retained, I think that's retained, as part of our file for this report. The polygraph examination was completed using an Air Force MGQ2 QT test. The original data, tests, and documents associated with this exam are maintained in the files of this office, right? Wait, let's see. Okay, back go back here. So this is what okay, before we read it, right? If y'all think about, hey Key, hey in my observation, thank you, my love. If y'all think about everything that this girl came out here and said, as far as um the DV is concerned when it comes to art, if you was around and you've been following us for the most part, then you know that every time something was debunked on this side of the fence, the goalpost was pushed, right? Meaning that we would debunk something she would put out due to inconsistencies on her part, and she would come out with something else, right? But if you look back at the lie detector and you coincided with the audio that Dawn released where Laonya was saying, I didn't say any of those things. I didn't say he dragged me across the floor. I didn't say he did this or gave me black eyes. It was verbal and the tote situation, which is why it was reenacted by Dawn, and she said she didn't like it, right? Notice how, and this is how you peep the play in this situation, and this is also how you know what actually happened. Because every time a back is pushed against the wall, the truth is revealed. The only thing that happened was verbal abuse on both parts, because we heard both parties cussing each other out. So y'all can't say that he is an abuser without calling her one. And then when we look at the tote situation, who was the aggressor? Because she pulled the pepper spray before the tote was even used. Period. Right? So when you look at this lie detector that she voluntarily took and created her own questions, she created them. They don't know what to put, they don't know what to ask you when you take a lie detector test, unless you're taking something for the state, feds, whatever. This was a voluntarily done polygraph test, which means she submitted the question. So if you know you went through 6 years of gaslighting, 6 years of being choked and dragged across the floor, can you imagine your kids knocking on the door, let my mommy out, let my mommy out? If she knows she went through that for 6 years, so she made sure to say choked and dragged. It was even an episode where she said broken bones and what she said, y'all? Broken bones and uh something skulls. Something with her skull. She said all of that. She laid it on thick, baby, on them DV tours. So here we have the first question that she submitted. Are you lying when you said your husband broke your index finger? Question mark. She said no. Pay attention to the play. This is for the ones who got some sense. The ones who have sense, common sense. You don't need much to see what's going on here. Are you lying when you said your husband broke your index finger? Of course she gonna get that right. Look at how the question was arranged. Like when you doing a lie detector test, right? When you believe something, you gonna get it right. If you believe it to be true, they won't detect deceptiveness. In her mind, she believed that he broke her finger in that moment. Just like I'm sure if he was to take it and he believed that he didn't break her finger because that wasn't his intentions, even though we seen the fake doctor's report, because it was allegedly said she didn't even go to no doctor for real. She went to CVS and 1 minute the bandage was on one hand, the next minute it was on another child. Okay, listen, that's all I'm gonna say. But any child, you can ask anybody in the medical field. I don't care what state you in. There is no hospital that's going to put in a summary something being the result of intimate partner abuse because they wasn't there. That's a lawsuit. If that hospital would have really put that, RH could have sued that hospital. They're not going to put that because they weren't present. That's how you know whoever created that fake doctor's report didn't have a whole lot of sense. But they was trying to put something out there that would coincide and validate the plot that was on that man. That's why they put that, because they wanted social media to believe that Whatever she claimed happened to her was at the hands of her husband. But they didn't think it all the way through because you had so many people, once that was posted, you had so many people that worked in the medical field. And I remember it vividly because I was there. I've been in the saga since day one. It was so many people, y'all, that was saying, something not right about this. Ain't no hospital putting this in no summary. I don't even work in the medical field, and I know that because I didn't been to the hospital before from DV, and they didn't put that in my summary. And the cops was called to the hospital. Make it make sense. Ain't no hospital putting it because they don't want to be liable, baby. It was so when I say it was so much that was going on, Pacing Quest, hey my love, so much was going on that was deceptive and malicious and vindictive that was being done behind the scenes to prove this man to be an abuser. But y'all say he don't deserve an apology or some accountability? Is y'all crazy? That girl know doggone well, and that's why karma is eating her down, like them kids say, eating down. Because what she did was wrong. Period. I don't care how bitter, how scorned you are. We all seen the clips where people said, "Oh, I tried to counsel them." We seen the clip from the Rices where the husband said, "I tried to counsel them, me and my wife as a married couple, but the husband wasn't having it." The husband being RH, he walked away completely. We heard the audio of her crying, telling Kevin all she wants is to make her marriage right, to get back to how things were, to be a better wife because that's her first marriage. We all heard that. We all heard the audio about her showing up in lingerie to that man's house. We all heard the audio talking about suicidal thoughts because of her marriage crumbling. We all heard. Child, that's why I'm like, what are we doing here? While y'all down this man, try to drag this man, talk about his looks and everything else, that she wanted him. She wanted him. While y'all speak on a shrimp, she wanted it. It couldn't have been that bad because the shrimp apparently still got her in a frenzy. Because anytime you still subbing your ex 2 years later, when she made that post with that song from Anaya Lamise, uh, who y'all think she was talking about? She didn't post that like 4 times. Why are we still posting that where you know you're intentionally subbing your ex-husband? Talking about the lack thereof, in your opinion. We can all see that's not going to keep another woman away. If anything, you make more women want them when you do that because they're looking at your actions, baby. Any woman can say a man is not pleasing when it comes to the bedroom. But when you on the internet crashing out behind that very same man, you really think they going to believe you? We literally read the text messages, or should I say inbox messages, where Janostrals admitted to infidelity just because of what you and your ex had going on. He was intimidated by RH. Your current man was intimidated by your ex-husband because of how you was cutting up and carrying on. Child. So, like I said, y'all, if you look at this right here, just the first question should tell you something. You ain't got to have a whole lot of sense, just a little bit, to see what's going on here. Are you lying when you said your husband broke your index finger? She said no. The reason why she can pass that is because she believed that happened. That don't make it true. That's the part I'm trying to make people understand. Just because you believe something does not make it true, right? I could believe I'm a millionaire all day. Y'all. We could believe we a millionaire. We could believe we gonna hit the Powerball, the Mega Million. Does that mean it's gonna happen? And you can ask anybody who has experience with polygraph tests, and they'll tell you this is why they're not admissible in court, because you can pass them if you believe it to be true. They go off of those emotions. Hey, one of a kind. Yes, y'all, help me with my little super chat goal. Okay. Or just hit the like button. If y'all can't help with the goal, hit the like button. Either or. It's greatly appreciated. I promise. So the next one says, are you lying when you said your husband has been emotionally abusive? Y'all following me? Peep the play with the questions. And if y'all remember, when this happened, when she put this out there, people were questioning her. This is why I say it's a lot of things that were done throughout the saga. So many moving parts, y'all. So many moving parts that made people stop siding with her. This being one. Because you got on a platform and you said 6 years of gaslighting, 6 years of being choked and dragged and all that across the floor. And then you could clearly remember the platform holder saying, Jesus, when she said that. Because that exaggeration was crazy. Real crazy. The soul of a woman. What's up, my love? Shout out to you. Thank you for coming through. So basically, this test is capped because the way she worded the question is for her benefit, basically. Meaning you're gonna pass it if you believe that. Like, make it make sense. Are you lying when you said your husband has been emotionally abusive? She, in her mind, she believes he has. And when we look at emotionally abusive, because people like to say, well, if physical didn't happen, he was still abusive because he cussed her out. She cussed him out too. So we gonna downplay it because she's a woman or what? Like, so when she cussed at him, it's not emotional abuse only when he do it, right? Logically, if we're gonna run with the whole abuse narrative, you gotta call both of them abusers because they both called each other the B word. I don't care if he called her that 20 times and she did it 5. She still did it. Period. Period. She is not innocent in none of this. So when y'all say, oh, y'all act like he perfect, or y'all not gonna call him out, child, been there, done that. We just ain't calling out what y'all want us to call out. I've been saying they had a toxic marriage. If y'all would have been saying that and agreeing as far as both parties not being innocent in the marriage, this ish would have been over and done with. But because people have grown to hate him based off of enabling her and in the name of her, they feel like they got to hate this man so bad. This is why we're here. Neither one is innocent when it comes to emotional abuse. But is that enough for you to be dragged all over social media, for your livelihood to be ruined? No. Because if that's the case, we all emotional abusers. Because we all done cuss people out before. Yo, that's why I can't take this issue serious. I really can't. I really can't, y'all. The next one, and y'all let me know when we get to the choking and the dragging, or just physical. I don't see no mention of physical outside of her saying, are you lying when you said your husband broke your index finger? And it takes me back to that recording that vindicated RH, the one that Dawn dropped. So when y'all speak of choking and dragging and a scratch under the eye, all of that, if she had just that, why didn't she put it in here? Because any one of those things would be considered physical abuse. Choking, dragging, a black eye, a scratch under the eye. Any one of those, if she believed any one of those things to have happened, she could have asked the question of physical abuse on this lie detector test and she would have passed. As long as she believed it to be true, that it happened. Pay attention. So it says next, are you lying when you said your husband hit you on the head with a toe? Right? She said no. Oh Lord have mercy. And this is why I say I guarantee y'all, if RH was to take this test, he would pass it too. And he could just reverse the question. Or like, are you lying when you said you didn't intend? Put that word in there. Are you lying when you say you didn't intend to, just let's just say, cause damage, physical harm to your wife? And if he said no, he gonna pass. Because if you think about the whole layout, the whole scenario that was broken down on the internet when it comes to that tote situation, we all know doggone well that man was not trying to beat his wife with no doggone tote in the head or break her finger intentionally. Especially seeing as how it was put out there that she was going through his phone. Everything came from her going through his phone. Period. Even as far as her grabbing the pepper spray. Like, make it make sense. She could have stopped. Just like y'all say, well, why he didn't walk away? Why she didn't walk away? She started it. He didn't start that altercation. She did. Why she ain't stopped when she seen her husband said, no, you're not going through my phone this time? Why she ain't walk away? The only person that's going to stay in something that's escalating is a person that likes toxicity or loves it. Because if I see something escalating that could potentially turn into something physical, I'm aborting the mission. I'm getting clean away from it. I'm not going to keep going. I'm not going to go grab pepper spray. Y'all got to make it make sense. So him pushing the tote down on her head over her body to stop her, because she was, the fact that people didn't believe that he was using that tote to protect himself from her when she went grab pepper spray. A person, that's a weapon, y'all. A person that will go that far to go through their husband's phone will grab anything. She could have grabbed the knife. She could have grabbed the pum pum in that type of impulsive emotional state that she was in. She didn't care what happened to her husband that day. That's also the same day the 911 call happened. Ain't no way. That's somebody who needs mental help while people coddling that behavior. Ain't nothing cool about that. Why y'all still blaming this man? Ain't nobody saying he innocent or he perfect. But she's wrong. Period. And ain't no accountability when you still throwing rocks high in your hands and got people working for you on the back end. Ain't no true accountability. True accountability is apologizing for everything, meaning it, apologizing to the victims that were triggered by your situation, apologizing for that 911 call, then moving on and cutting everybody off who got something bad to say. True accountability is co-parenting without a narrative or a plot in mind, without being vindictive. Ain't no way this man should have to be recording y'all engagement when it comes to picking up the child. Ain't no way he should have to record every episode. That is sad. That is sad. And then got to deal with that for 18 years. It's even worse. Like, I know people who done been through way worse and they ain't got to do all of that. That's crazy. And the last question, did you break your finger yourself? And she says no. Why was that needed? Y'all, the question should have been lined up. One, did you experience 6 years of physical, emotional, mental? Not no, let me take it back because you don't want to put all of them together because guess what? When you put all of them together, only one can apply and it'll still be valid. As long as you experience one, it'll still be valid. So I would have asked the question if I was really trying to prove that my husband abused me physically, mentally, and emotionally throughout the 6 years of our marriage. This is how I would have asked the question. One, are you lying when you said that your husband abused you mentally? I mean, not mentally, physically for the entirety of your marriage? Question one. Question two, are you lying when you said your husband abused you mentally, financially? Then you put the rest together. Psychologically, verbally, whatever ones you want to use, because they're all pretty much the same thing once you get past the physical aspect. Because you can go to jail for physical abuse, you can't go to jail for mental and emotional. Even though they still hit hard, because people listen. People don't play about that abuse, baby. They all still hit hard. But legally, you can't go to jail for calling somebody the B word unless it's a judge. Then, even then, or maybe in the courtroom, they'll put you in contempt. But ain't nobody going to jail for slanging the B word back and forth. But those two, um, and then for the third and the fourth question, I would have asked about the tote situation. And that's it. That would have proved everything if we was going off of the lie detector. But the fact that the test clearly focused on that tote situation while y'all still trying to, bruh, it's bad when you hear something straight from the horse's mouth and you still go against it. These people literally heard this girl say on that audio that it was only verbal in that tote situation. And the fact that the lie detector test validates that, what more do y'all need? You still got people out here saying, well, he kicked in her back. He said, how far did I drag you? He scratched under her eye. He called her the B word. He put Gatorade on her. Are y'all serious? The girl didn't say it herself. None of that happened. Even though she was the one who started those lies. She put them out here. But she was on audio saying only verbal and the tote situation. And the fact that that's the only, out of her whole marriage, out of 6 years of marriage, right? She only needed one physical altercation to put a question on this test to prove it right. Only one out of 6 years. Why she didn't do that? If she was kicked in her back, that's physical abuse. Why she didn't put that on here? If they tussled in Jamaica for baby girl's birthday and his watch scratched her under her eye, that would be considered physical. Why wasn't that put on here? Somebody help me out. Hey, Jaquita. Thank you, sweet queen, my love. Thank you for that super. Whoever just sent that 199 super, I can't even see. I don't know where it's at. It disappeared. Thank you, my girl. If let's see what else they said. If he threw Gatorade all over her, well, that technically wouldn't be. But we know that it was actually her who threw it on him because we heard in the audio him saying, "You didn't messed up my clothes and I gotta go to a meet. You always doing this." And Sweet Mom broke it down where you can clearly see he had Gatorade on his clothes. So I'm confused. If he dragged her across the floor with intent to cause her physical harm, why wasn't that put on the lie detector test? Hey, Tyrese, somebody help me out. If he choked her and Naya seen it, why wasn't that put on the lie detector test? Because we all know when Naya got up on that platform, and she got to deal with that also. She got to deal with the karma from that because she got up there and flat out lied. Flat out lied. And I could say that because I myself debunked that lie with Laonia's video where she described that incident and said herself that Naya wasn't even there. And by the time Naya came, the door was locked. When Naya got on somebody's platform and told that story, she said that she seen him lunge at her and put his hands around her neck. How is that possible when your own ex sister said herself that the door was locked and you was outside banging on the door? Make it make sense. And that's why Art jumped on that platform. Not because he was guilty, because he hadn't jumped up there. He hadn't got on nobody platform all that time. You ain't about to come up here and lie on me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's why he got up there and let her know. And Dawn even said she talked to her about that and asked her, like, why would you, like, why? Why would you lie about that? And even spoke with her prior to the interview, and the girl said she never witnessed nothing. So you gonna then get on the platform and lie and say you did? Make it make sense. Okay, my dream star? That's the biggest one right there. Why wasn't a Bruce mentioned in the divorce decree? Why people still out here dragging this man and trying to deflect, using him as deflection away from what Janostrals is currently doing or did? Because if I could recall, it was said several times. I ain't gotta show y'all nothing. I showed y'all receipts for 3 months. I'm saving my receipts for the judge. But then boom, when court day come, where them receipts at? We done went on DV tours from platform to platform, telling these horrendous stories, laying it on there thick, baby. And not one of those situations was mentioned in court. Because she could be getting alimony right now. Even though they wasn't married for 10 years. All she had to do was prove one situation. She could have been getting alimony. So when people say, oh, she's the receipt queen and she been showing receipts of Bruce for all of this time, why she couldn't do it with the judge? That's the one that matter, right? That's what she said. I ain't got to show y'all nothing. I'm saving my receipts for the judge or for my lawyer. Hey, dreamy girl. Hey, my love. Like, make it make sense. But you know what? You say he better tie his cleats and run very fast. Nope. She is his karma and he is hers. That relationship is karmic. It's written. Anytime you got a relationship, y'all, I was listening to receipts because I was making a video, right? And I went back to the receipts where she was uh putting it on the floor about him. Not the one where she was real calm in her car giving a woman's fed up story time, but the one she did on Instagram the night before when she wanted that ring back. When you seen a different side of her, cursing and carrying on and all of that. The one she did where she did when a woman's fed up, you would have really thought she was a victim because she was like, he said, uh, the B word one more time. She wasn't sparing them cuss words on that Instagram live. That's how you know it's different personalities in one person, child. But I was listening to it, and the way she was describing how I've been going through hell every mother effing day, this whole pregnancy, and da 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 da. And it's just the way she was describing. I was like, bruh, that is a karmic relationship. Ain't no way somebody is going through all of that in a relationship like that and it's not karmic. Because that's how karmic relationships are built. It ain't no peace in those type of relationships. Like, period. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Ain't no peace in that type of relationship. And that's why she's experienced what she's experienced. Because if you really think about, I mean, y'all seen me do an interview with Chrissy. Chrissy didn't go through none of that with him. None of that. When they finally parted ways, it was because of Laon. Thank you. Wait, who sent me that? Thank you, nice me. You say thanks for all you do. Thank you for that Cash App blessing. I appreciate you. Like when you really sit back, think about it, y'all. Y'all watch my interview with Chrissy. Chrissy, she explained everything that happened in their relationship. He was like the nicest person. He bought her stuff. You know, the energy was reciprocated. He wasn't using her financially. He was doing stuff for her too. They was going on trips, you know. He was footing the bag. Like it was a reciprocal relationship. It wasn't where she's doing all like how it is with Laonia, where she gotta pay for everything. And even and let's keep it above. Even if you go into a relationship like that initially, where they fall in love with your head and not your heart, a real man, because over time a man is going to grow to love you or have some type of feelings for you. They're not going to just keep using you. A real man is going to want to do something for you in return, unless that was never their intentions to even be in that type of situation with you. Unless their intentions were purely to use you up and spit you out, that's when you get that type of behavior that he has been displaying. That's when you get that. Because like I said, before Laonia was Chrissy. How he go from that to this? Somebody let me know. From that to this. Chrissy said they had one situation where he kind of raised his voice a little bit and she shut it all the way down. We ain't doing that. She shut it all the way down. So where he was low key scared of her. So I'm confused. You say Queen Lupac, I wonder where she's at now. She's doing good. Chris is doing good. She been doing good, actually. She been doing good. She got her itch together. She's a businesswoman. But it's just crazy, y'all. Like, I don't that's how you know it's a karmic relationship. Because like I said, how you go from that to that. Make it make sense. He saw an opportunity and he went for it. He had a plot in motion. Because when he was with Chrissy, she didn't have to deal with no infidelities. She didn't have to question what he was doing and this and that. It didn't happen until Laonya came into the play. And if y'all remember, when Laonya initially met Janashos, he wasn't big on social media. Nobody knew who he was. I want to say he probably had 100 some followers on Facebook when she first got with him. She had to tell people who he was. Oh, he's from Wu Tang. He played Jizz on Wu Tang. Nobody knew that. Now he on platforms with over 100K because of her. And her because of our age. Crazy. But make it make sense. He got everything he wanted in this situation. But he ain't think, well, let me not say that, because he wanted them cheering too. When I tell y'all he wanted them cheering too, baby. Hey, team Mother F and Rob. He wanted them babies, y'all. But the crazy part is, when you want babies, you need to want the mother also. We got enough broken homes out here. But in all actuality, to keep it a buck, y'all, even though a lot of people say, and this is just my opinion, a lot of people say that they feel like she trapped him because they feel like, eventually he can become um a top tier actor. Not saying he couldn't. It's always a possibility when you in that field, right? But I personally think he trapped her. I think he trapped her. Or I say they trapped each other, to be honest. Because both parties initially thought the other party was somebody else or bigger than who they actually were when they met in LA. You think that too, Dina? Yep. And the reason why I say that is because, like I told y'all, one, he was intimidated by RH, and two, look at how he uses her. So it's hard to say she trapped him when he's the only one that's reaping the benefits financially. That's the crazy part. Ooh, child. See y'all. But anyways, what time it is? Oh, it's almost 12 o'clock. Okay, y'all. I'm finna get up off here. I'm gonna do a part two. Stop sharing. We'll do a part two to this live tomorrow, which is Friday. We're gonna turn up on a Friday. Okay. I'm gonna try to finish this video and put it out because I'm gonna stay up a little bit because I slept all the way back. I slept on the plane. I slept on the way back home, so I'm up. So I'm gonna try to finish working on this video, put it out for y'all. Y'all, if y'all still up, y'all look for it. If not, watch it tomorrow. But we'll be back tomorrow with another one. We'll do a part two. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If y'all have not watched us on Harm's platform, Harmony Speaks, make sure y'all go check it out. Go follow if you're not following. Shout out to y'all. I missed y'all, but I will be back tomorrow with another one. Love y'all.
That goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always had a black holes. Whoa, 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 whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block holes. They be being shady, yeah. whoa, 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 whoa. Cause you know I black holes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I black